a strong man is supposed to look like. This is what a strong man is supposed to look like. This is the ideal. And so, for some of us as men who we may be struggling with some inferiority complex, we believe that if we're not showing up like that, then we're not strong, we're not good enough. Many of us as men, we were taught to be providers and protectors. And when we are not able to do that, we feel like failures. We don't feel like we're a man enough. So, is that what a strong man looks like? We should be a protector, we should be a provider, and we should show up with a lot of mouth and muscle. And we want to challenge that belief because there is more to it, and there's a lot more required as it relates to being a strong man. You see, that era where mouth and muscle said it all is over. And I'm here now. I'm prepared for some of my listeners and whether male, female, to sort of run to get out of here. But guys, I have to be real with you, and I have to tell you the truth. You see that era where the representation of a strong man is a man who showed up with who has a lot of mouth and muscle. That era is over. The era where a strong man, is the one who's able to provide and protect for his family. That is still necessary, but that's not the only thing that is required in order to be a strong man. A strong man needs to be emotionally accessible. A strong man needs to be emotionally accessible. Are you emotionally accessible? Are you in tuned and aware of your own emotions? Are you a man that is able to acknowledge that it's okay for you to have emotions, and it's okay for you to have feelings, and it's okay for you to be vulnerable and display those areas of yourself that you think, if I show up in this way, then I'm not man enough. So, guys, that era is gone. And I'm saying this to you guys that, if we are going to prioritize our mental health and wellness, we have got to be brutally honest with yourself and recognize that there is an era of the way that we represent a man that is gone. It's not necessary anymore. And how do I know? Just recently, guys, because every single day I'm in this space, I'm coaching, I'm doing psychotherapy, and I connected with persons, right? And there are men who they grew up in that era where right now they're coming to grips with the reality that it does not benefit me or my family or those with whom I interact. If you want to have a healthy, meaningful relationship with your kids, with your partner, you have got to move past that era. Don't stay stuck in that era, right? This prehistoric sort of a Stone Age era. Guys, the Stone Age era of masculinity is over. And if you want to have healthy, happy relationships, if you are someone that goes around and you're in that space where you're telling yourself that I cannot do anything different, or this is how I need to be as a man, you've got to remember that there's a big difference from a need versus a want. And you've got to get out of this space in your head where you're stuck. You're stuck in tradition, you're stuck within the confines of a mental or a masculine norm that is not helping you or your relationships. So that era is over. And I'm challenging all of my male listeners, all the men and all the boys who are tuned into this podcast right now. I want you to pause and recognize that the reality is that you can continue to embrace the traditional way at the risk of losing important relationships, or you can challenge the traditional norms and seek to create a new perspective and gain new insight, right? And thank you. I appreciate, one of my listener here is saying, hey, we got to have a good mindset and embrace it. And thank you, listener, for putting that in the chat, because this is what it's all about, right? Creating and having the right mindset so that we can evolve into becoming better versions of ourselves. You see, guys, the truth be told is that a man who is training his mindset will make massive changes and transformations, right? A man who is creating the right mindset will make massive changes and transformation. And I want you to reflect on that thought for today, right? A man who is able to create the right mindset, right, will create massive changes and transformation. Because what we're talking about is a real strong man, a real man is a man who is in touch with his emotions. A strong man is a man who is ready to confront societal norms. A strong man is a man who is able to step forward and say, hey, I refuse to continue to stay trapped in this brainwashed example of what it means to be a real man, a strong man. A strong man is one who is able to be true to himself. And we were naturally cultured to live in denial. We were cultured to live in that space in our minds where there's a lot of pride and shame that goes with us stepping out and talking about feelings and talking about fears, and so we were naturally cultured to be that way. And I'm saying to all the men who are here and the boys who are here that that era is over. We are looking for some men who are ready to be catalysts. We're looking for some men who are ready to be pioneers. We're looking for some men who are ready to stand up and say, we are no longer going to hide behind these facades of societal norms. It's time for men to have a healthier mindset, a healthier relationship. It's time for more men to work on being more, emotionally intelligent. It's time for us as men to stay in touch with our reality and be true to ourselves. It's time for us to stop living a life of denial and deception and delusion. It's time for us as men to recognize that, hey, I am the only one that can change my reality. I'm the only one that can shift things in the direction that it is supposed to go. It's time for us as men to open up our eyes, open up our minds, and open up our hearts so that we can heal from the inside out. It's time for us. I'm talking to all our men and all our boys. It's time for us to say, enough is enough. No shame, no pride, no arrogance is going to prevent me from getting the help that I need so that I can heal and so that I can grow. Listen, guys, what we're talking about here in XY Spark is seeking to aggressively approach doing the work that's going to help us to become the best version of ourselves. Let me repeat this quote again. A man who seeks to work on creating the right mindset will motivate himself into becoming a powerful source of strength. A man who works on creating the right mindset will experience a growth and transformation that's second to none. Listen, listen. It's Monday. It's a Monday. And I want you to challenge yourself to make a commitment right now that I am no longer going to stay stuck in tradition. I'm no longer going to stay stuck in societal expectations. I'm no longer going to stay stuck in this cultural norm that was handed down to me. I'm no longer going to stay stuck in this denial and deceptive way that I've been living my life. It's time for us as men to stop believing the lies that we were told. I don't care who told you the lie. It's time to stop believing that lie and step out of that quicksand that is darkening your path and say to yourself, this is it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to do this? I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope that you are ready because I want you to right now step up and make the decision that enough is enough. Because why? Your mental health is your responsibility. Your mental health is your greatest wealth. Your mental health is there for you to pay attention to. And when you pay attention to it, you will explode in the world and everyone will see the transformation. Why? Because you get the results for the work that you do. This is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando. Thank you for joining us here again on the XY Spark Podcast, the podcast for men, where we seek to normalize conversations about men's mental health. We hope that you'll join us again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, where we will continue to create a safe space to talk about men's mental health. In the meantime, as you go off into your day today, always remember this that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Good to see you, and thank you for joining us one more time. Peace out.